So guys, welcome to one more wonderful session on Java JDBC. So in this session, first I'll explain you what is the architecture of Java JDBC, or you can say the JDBC architecture. And after that, I'll explain you how to create a connection towards Oracle database using normal editor. So we'll write that program on a normal editor. Okay. So this is what actually the JDBC architecture is. So imagine that this is your Java application wants to interact with a database. There are dozens of databases are there in the market. So you can use any of the database for developing your JDBC applications. So what is this JDBC exactly? JDBC is nothing but an API. API stands for Application Programming Interface provided by Oracle Corporation. So what it consists of actually? This JDBC API consists of 90% of the interfaces and 10% of classes actually. It contains most of the interfaces and a little bit of classes. Okay. So these interfaces are implemented by database vendors. That's the thing, but the implementation class for this particular interface, by implementing all the methods of those interfaces, will be provided by your Oracle. So that's we call JDBC driver for connecting to Oracle database. Like this PostgreSQL will implement for connecting to PostgreSQL in the same way MySQL, IBM DB2, SQL Server. So what all the databases are there in the market, those database vendors will provide the implemented classes. And all those implemented classes they'll provide in the form of a jar file. So once you install that particular database software, then some of the vendors will give you the implemented classes in the form of jar file along with the database implementation, or in some of the database vendors, you have to go to their official website and you have to download those drivers actually. So here you should have some basic knowledge about this polymorphism concept here. So we can create object of any subclass and we can assign it to superclass reference variable. The same concept is implemented here. So here the superclass is nothing but your interface, and all these implemented classes will be provided by the specific database vendors, so that you may move from one database to another database. You need not to change the whole code of your application. You need to just change the driver class and you can start interacting with other databases in the market. So this is how actually the Java JDBC. So it's something like a subclass object is assigned to parent class reference variable. It's like a parent class reference is used to hold the child class objects. Absolutely true. Parent class reference is holding the child class object. So that's the reason we keep on saying, if you are good at core Java, then only all the advanced level stuff you'll understand clearly. So this is what actually the JDBC architecture is all about. So we have seen few examples of this Java JDBC on Eclipse IDE. But what if you are working on Edit Plus, or if you are working with Notepad. So I'll explain you one Java application by using that particular concept also. So this is what I said, and these are the few very important classes and interfaces of Java JDBC API. So your driver manager is the class which takes care of registering the driver. Registering the driver is nothing but you are telling the Java that what database you are using and to which database you want your Java application to connect. That's what the duty of a driver manager class is. Then we have a connection interface, which will establish connection towards the database. Then we have statement interface, which will create a statement object. Like statement object, there are other interfaces also, prepared statement and callable statement. So I'll explain you these prepared statement and callable statements in upcoming sessions. Okay, so right now we have worked with statement object, and once the statement object executes the SQL query, like select statement, then it will give us a result set. That result set will be processed by us and will display the result on the screen. Like this result set, there are a few more interfaces like result set metadata and database metadata. I'll explain you those interfaces and their usages in upcoming sessions. And SQL exception, like when you are working with Java JDBC and if the database is not available, then it may throw an exception. So this is the SQL exception. Okay. So I'll explain you how to create a Java JDBC application by using like how to create a connection object using normal editor. So here what I'll do is I'll use edit plus, okay, and I'll say file new, and Java everything I'll just write it, and Java JDBC connection is the class name I'll give. Okay, JDBC connection. And here, let me save this file first. So I'll save this in E drive. Okay, and I'll see Java JDBC is like one folder is there. Inside this JDBC connection.java is the program name I'm creating. Okay, so the first step is you have to, the first step in this example is to set the driver in the class path. Means, see, suppose if you try to import the statements, let me show you. Like suppose if I say import java.sql.star, is it clear? And if I try to run this code, let's see what happens actually. So I'll go to command prompt, then I'll go to E drive, cd, and the folder name is Java underscore JDBC, and here Java C JDBC connection that Java is the program name, and the program has successfully compiled. The program is successfully compiled because the JDBC class path is set actually. So how to set the class path? Let's try to understand once. You have to go to this PC. In this PC, you go to advanced system settings. In advanced system settings, environment variables. In environment variables, you have to set the class path actually. So path is different and class path is different. Try to understand that. Path is different and class path is different. So you have to click on new. Okay, and the variable name is class path. Okay, and the variable value is, you have to identify the jar file which comes with Oracle installation. So C drive, program files, and here, C drive, Oracle XE, app, Oracle product 11.2.0 server, and then you see JDBC, LIB, and if you can see this OJDBC 6, OJDBC 6 is actually the file that you are supposed to add it in the class path. So you have to copy this address completely. And then percentage class path percentage. That's nothing but if existing class path is there, that you have to include it. Okay, semicolon dot semicolon along with the current working directory. You have to add this path into the class path. Then you can say okay. Then you can say okay. Then you can say okay. Now here you can close this, open this edit plus, and the first step is registering the driver. Class dot for name, and the driver name is Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. This is the actually class which takes care of making connection towards your Oracle database actually. Okay, Oracle driver. And now, once if the driver class is loaded, now you can create the connection object. Connection con is equals to driver manager. Driver manager is the class name. Driver man is the interface name. Driver manager dot get connection. Driver manager dot get connection. Here you have to give the URL, then username, then password. So the URL is JDBC colon, means using the JDBC driver, you are connecting to Oracle. JDBC colon Oracle colon thin colon, thin is the name of the driver actually, thin colon @ localhost. That indicates the database server is installed in the local machine only. 1521 is the port number on which your Oracle database server is running, and HR is the username and HR is the password. If everything goes fine, then the connection object will get created. So here I'll say if con is not equals to null, then I want to display a message system.out.println connection created. Okay, and else we can say system.out.println connection creation problem. Okay, and let me run this program once, and it will throw some errors, and we'll try to rectify those errors actually. It is throwing some error saying that unreported exception class not found might be caught or declared. Okay, so whenever you get a message like unreported exception, it indicates that it is a checked exception. So we have to declare that exception. So I'll say throws exception. So you are declaring that exception. So let me run this. Let me compile this program once again. The program is successfully compiled. Now let me run this program. And if I get a message like connection is created, no, it's saying that class not found exception. It's saying that class not found exception. Now let me check the driver class name oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver, whether I have given this particular class name perfectly or not. So what I'll do is I'll just go to this Eclipse ID in which we have created a few examples earlier. So oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. This is the class name we have given. I'm just checking whether this class name we have given perfectly. Is there any spelling mistake? Oracle.jdbc. No, we have given the driver name as exactly same. There is no problem in that. There is no problem inside this. Okay, so I'll just compile it once again. So it's saying that class not found exception. That's nothing but this particular class is not visible to this program. It is not visible to this program. So what I'll do is I'll just exit once. Okay, and I'll just try to enter once again. E drive Java _JDBC. Okay, and I'll say Java C JDBC connection.java. And now can you see we got a message like connection created. Why? Because this particular command prompt window is already open when I set the class path. Is it clear? That's why the class path settings, whatever I have done, they are not affected to this command prompt. That's why I exited from the command prompt and re-entered into the command prompt. Now what we'll do is we'll write the complete program for retrieving data from the database. So here I'll say statement st equals to con dot create statement, and once if the statement object gets created, we'll execute the query. So st dot execute query, and here I'll say select star from student. I have one table already created in HR login with the name student. So what this execute query method will return, it returns a object that is a result set object. The result set object I'm assigning to rs variable. The result set object I'm assigning to rs variable, and I'll say while rs dot next. The next method of result set will return true if the record is existing in that result set. So here I'll say system dot out dot println rs dot get int of 1. That's nothing but my first column. Rs dot get string of 2. That's nothing but my second column name. First is roll number, second is name. Rs dot get int of 3. That's nothing but the age. Is it clear? So once you come out of this, then close the result set object, then close the statement object, then close the connection object. Is it clear? So let me run this program. So first I'll compile it. Here it's saying that package does not exist. Let me check. Statement st equals to, sorry, I should not write new. This is wrong here. It's not new, just con dot create statement. Okay. And let me run this program. And you can see here the connection is created and we retrieve the data from the database. Okay, so this is how we can work with Java JDBC from Eclipse, means from normal editor also. You need not to work with an IDE. You can work with editor also. And Java latest version like JDBC 4 and Java 6 onwards, I think the driver class is getting loaded automatically. So you need not to load the driver class. When the driver class is set in the class path, automatically Java will take care of loading that particular driver class. Is it clear? Into the memory for creating the connection object. So I'll just put comment lines for that, and I'll compile it once again. I'll execute it, and you can see we'll get the same result. We need not to load the driver class manually. So if you have any doubts regarding this, then what you can do is here I'll open a browser, and I'll show you. So from which version of Java JDBC driver class is auto loaded? Is it clear? I'm just checking. So any JDBC 4.0, JDBC 4.0, is it clear? Automatically the driver class is getting loaded automatically. Is it clear? So that is JDBC 4.0. But if you want to know, like since which version of JDBC 4.0 is available, since which version of JDK and JDBC 4. is JDBC 4 supports. So if you can say right from JDK 6 point onwards, right from 6 point onwards. See, JDBC API is shipped along with your JDK only. Is it clear? Like you won't get separate JDBC API. You need not to install anything. You need to install basic JDK into your machine, and JDK will give you the JDBC API. So from this, you can see very clearly that right from JDK 6.0 onwards, JDBC 4.0 is a super like a 4.0 is available. Is it clear? And today you might be using Java 17 or 18 or 20 or whatever it may be, and the JDBC is 4.1. I think we have right now. Is it clear? So hope you got clarity on this particular example. And in the next session, what I'll explain you is, because once you practically do all these things, then in the next session, what I'll show you is, in next session, I'll show you, see, we have seen how to create a statement object, like statement st equals to con dot create statement. Once if the statement object is created, then you are saying st dot execute update. So there are totally 3 methods available. One is execute update, second one is execute, and third one is execute query. Is it clear? So in our example, I have used execute query because this is used for executing select statements, and execute update is used for DDL and DML statements. And when you don't know like what kind of SQL statement it is and you want to execute it, then you can use execute method. And this execute method will return a Boolean value. The return type of this is Boolean, and the return type of this execute update is integer, and execute query is a result set actually. Okay, these are the return types. So if this execute method returns a result set, then the Boolean will return true, otherwise it will return false. And execute update will return a number indicating that how many records are updated. And execute query, you are already aware of that because we have seen a couple of examples. So that's it, guys, in this Java JDBC example. In next session, we'll see how to practically work with this execute method actually. Okay, so thank you so much.